What happens to the money found in raids? How seized property is actually used? Just imagine. In the middle of the night, the door of a luxurious bungalow suddenly breaks open. Dozens of officers, police, and the glare of cameras rush inside together. Beads of sweat shine on the owner's face. The cupboards are opened, suitcases are pulled out, mattresses are ripped apart. And then suddenly, bundles upon bundles of cash emerge from a hidden tank or secret compartments under the floor. Stacks of 500 and 2000 notes. So many that even counting machines get exhausted. This is a scene we often watch in movies, but it happens in real life too. The recent raid in Patna, Bihar, brought this truth out once again. The question is, what happens to all this money once it's found? Do these notes end up in the pockets of officers? Do they go into government funds? Or do they disappear somewhere else? This is the question that echoes in the mind of every common man. Today, we will dive deep into this very subject. But before that, if you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe so you get the updates of all our latest videos first. So, let's begin today's discussion without any delay. Let me tell you, the Patna case is the latest example. When Vinod Kumar Rai, an officer of the Department of Rural Affairs, learned that the Economic Offences Unit was about to raid his house, in panic he burned bundles of cash worth lakhs. Even though those bundles turned to ashes in the flames, when the agencies searched the house, a shocking sight appeared. Bundles of notes were found submerged in a water tank. When counted, 39,50,000 came out just from there. Looking at the burnt bundles, it was estimated they held about 12 lakh rupees. In total, 52 lakh rupees was recovered. Now think, when such a large amount of money lands in the hands of the government, what happens to it next? In India, the history of raids against black money and corruption is very old. But every time, the public asks the same question. We see crores and billions being found, but where do they actually go? This is why it's important to understand the process. The truth is, whenever an agency conducts a raid, there is a fixed procedure. Every note is accounted for. Every piece of jewelry is weighed. Every land paper documented. Every vehicle's value recorded. Everything is entered in official records. It's not just about recovering money, but about following a long legal and procedural journey. The first question is, who has the authority to conduct raids? Not everyone has this power. In India, only certain agencies can carry out such actions. For example, the Enforcement Directorate, ED, which handles money laundering and foreign exchange related cases. The Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, which intervenes in big scams and corruption matters. The Income Tax Department, which catches black money and tax evasion. And the Economic Offences Unit of the Police, which acts at the state level. Apart from these, during elections, the Election Commission also keeps watch on suspicious cash. But all this happens only when there is solid evidence. No officer can just randomly walk into your home and conduct a raid. When a raid takes place and cash is recovered, the very first step is to count it in the presence of government officials and witnesses. The notes are counted using machines, and the entire process is video recorded. After that, a Seizure memo is prepared. This memo clearly states how much money was found, in what denominations, and from where it was recovered. Once documented, the money is immediately deposited into a designated branch of the State Bank of India. Neither the ED, nor the CBI, nor the Income Tax Department can use this money for themselves. It becomes part of the government system. But here's an interesting twist. The accused gets a chance. If he can prove that the money is legitimate, part of his legal income, and that taxes have already been paid on it, then the court can order that the money be returned to him. However, if he fails to prove its legitimacy, the money is transferred to the account of the Government of India. And once it enters the government treasury, it is used for development and administrative purposes. It's not just cash. Raids often uncover jewelry, land, houses, and vehicles too. The process for these is even more interesting. Agencies seize them as well and keep them under custody until the court delivers its verdict. If the accused is found guilty, the properties are auctioned. The money earned from the auction is partly given to those who suffered losses, while the rest goes to the government treasury. Every single note, every piece of jewelry, every asset is fully documented. The Prevention of Money Laundering Act, enacted in 2002, made this process even stricter. Now, it is mandatory to create detailed records of every recovered item. Which cupboard a note was found in, which locker contained a necklace, everything is documented. That is why today, raids are not just a tool to intimidate officers or politicians, but also a symbol of the power of the law. But the question still remains, what benefit does the common public actually get from this money? If 100 crores rupees are recovered from someone's house, does it build hospitals? Does it open schools? The truth is, the process is long. Court cases take years. Only if the owner of the money or property is proven guilty can the government use it. Many times, this money lies in government accounts for years. Even so, when it finally enters the government treasury, it is used to strengthen the country's economy. The money is directed toward development projects, infrastructure, welfare schemes, and sometimes even debt repayment. In other words, the same money that an official or businessman looted from the public ultimately ends up being spent on the public. There's also an interesting aspect here. The impact of these raids is not limited to money alone. They have a psychological effect too. When an officer or businessman sees that corruption can be caught, a sense of fear is created. That fear itself becomes one of the biggest weapons against black money in society. Just like the Patna case, hundreds of raids happen in the country every year. Sometimes gold bars are recovered, sometimes trucks filled with US dollars, sometimes lockers stuffed with jewelry, sometimes bags full of bundles of cash. The public sees these news stories and wonders, if so much money is going into government coffers, why isn't the face of the nation changing? The answer is that before this money is directly used for development, it must pass through a long legal process. Still, one truth remains: the money recovered from corruption does eventually benefit the public, provided the accused is proven guilty. But the journey is not an easy one. From rooms filled with bundles of cash, to the courts, and finally to the government treasury, it is a long story. That is why whenever billions are seized from someone's home, people ask, what will happen to it now? And the answer is, this money, though delayed, does end up serving the nation.
If our video has taught you something new, do not forget to like and share this video so that this information can reach others as well. Your likes and shares are a source of inspiration for us. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know in the comments. It will be our honor to answer your questions and listen to suggestions. And yes, if you like our content, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you stay connected with every new story. Thank you. GRT Business YouTube channel sources, news from various news agencies, opinion polls and other public sources. We try to ensure that every report and summary is accurate and verified, but we are not responsible for any dispute or error. Our aim is only to provide you with accurate information.